Folks, ladies and gentle cars, my name is Farkle8000, and welcome back to the April competition. It is time to continue round number 1. This is the second half, and upon further review, we have 32 races left to run in this round. That means at least 32 competitors will advance to round 2. I say at least because we still have Velvet's race to run, and since Velvet gets a round 1 pass, we could have 33 competitors advancing to the next round. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to stop stalling so we can get straight into the racing. First up, from right to left, we have Dodge, Worldwide, Red, and Club. And it looks to be Red and Dodge in the lead through the transition. Dodge bounces. Worldwide was up on 2 wheels. It's a drag race to the line. It's close between the top 3. It looks like Dodge will have the victory. He will. Dodge will hold off the NASCARs to advance to round 2. Red begun in the lead, but then just fell back through the transition. It didn't look like she made a mistake. She just kind of lost speed as the race went on. The NASCARs almost got the win. Dodge able to hold on. Drifts, Velvet, Plymouth, and Rookie Mock race next. I mentioned it at the top of the show. Velvet will be getting a round 1 pass, so he will be advancing from this race no matter what. It's just the question of will anyone advance with him? And it looks like he's experimenting going backwards in his lane, so we'll see if that benefits him. He can afford to experiment. He knows he's advancing no matter what. And it's Plymouth who starts in the lead. Velvet draws next to him. Velvet bounces big, and he begins to fall well behind as Mock pulls into nearly a car-length lead to grab the victory. Velvet will just barely drive in behind, and as you take a look at the results, Velvet will advance. Mock will join him. It looked like that experiment for Velvet did not pay off. He did not get a good run through that transition. He will have to use his round 1 pass to get to round 2. Mock, though, does it legit. Drives on to round 2. Sprinter, Rookie, Cheetah, Howler, and Fender race next. Sprinter in lane number 1 is the first New Yorker of this video, but the second New Yorker to race in this competition. The first New Yorker to race in this competition was Courtesy. He raced on Monday, and he was eliminated round 1, so we'll have to see here if Sprinter joins Courtesy out in round 1, or if he advances. And it's an even start. It looks like Fender and Sprinter beginning to pull away. Cheetah now up on 2 wheels, wobbles between both lanes, but he saves it. Now there are 4 wide crossing the line. But it's gonna be Sprinter with the victory. We run 2 New Yorkers, 1 eliminated. The second right here advances to the next round. And what's almost as impressive as Sprinter's victory was Cheetah and that save. He's a rookie, but he was driving like a veteran out there. Came through the transition, popped up on 2 wheels, slid, still on 2 wheels, slid to one side, then slid to the other. I thought he was going over. I thought he was going to hit Sprinter and Howler, but somehow he didn't, and he saved it. Will come home in third. An impressive save there. The 2 competitors who started in the lead at the start of this race will finish 1-2. Fender in second. It's Sprinter advancing to round 2. Rookie, Roadster, Flyer, 5, and Cage race next. It's an even start. It looks like Roadster and Cage beginning to pull ahead. Roadster now up in the air on the side of the track. Flyers trying to close, but Roadster will save it to drive to the finish line. Roadster almost lost this race. getting up on the side of the track right there could have absolutely ruined his chance. Could have even ruined Flyer's chance. We could have had Five or Cage win this race had that wreck happened differently. Luckily, it doesn't happen differently, and Roadster, the February winner, can advance to round 2. Bones, Chevelle, Impreza, and Jordan race next. And it's a very even start. Bones now beginning to fall behind. Chevelle way in the air, bounces off Impreza as Bones draws to the front, and it's very tight as they cross the line. Jordan will claim the victory ahead of Bones. Bones started even with everyone and then begun to fall behind. Don't know if he was beginning to sense something was about to happen. As Chevelle got up onto the side of the track, bounced off Impreza, they both fell back. Bones out of the middle of nowhere, battling for the lead with Jordan. Unfortunately, I believe falling back right there is what's going to put him in second place. I think if he had stayed even and not fallen back, he would have been able to get the victory. But it's still very close as Jordan advances to the next round. Pattern, Cruz, Nighttime, and Speeder race next. It's an even start. Speeder now beginning to edge ahead. Cruz wobbles and bounces between his lane as Speeder's beginning to pull away and will take the victory a car length ahead of his competitors. Speeder begun even, then inched ahead before the transition, and then left his competitors in the dust after the transition. Cruz, very good recovery right there. Through the transition, he bounced and wobbled in his lane, was able to recover up to second place, but it was nowhere near enough to catch Speeder. Catapult, Gibbs, M&M's, and 28 race next. It's an even start. Catapult in the lead. M&M's wobbles. Gibbs way in the air, maybe on the side of the track. They're 4 wide, crossing the line. It's unbelievably tight. And Gibbs will claim the win over 28. I thought Gibbs had lost it. Coming through the transition, 28, M&M's and Catapult just begun to drive away. But he was able to save it and still drove back to get the win. A big disappointment here, though, for Catapult. Was very, very strong in that race, just fell back towards the end. Will finish in 4th. 28. So close, yet so far. Benz, Tootsies, and 2 rookies, Beetle and Mountain, race next. Benz in lane number 1 is the 3rd New Yorker to race in this competition. It's an even start. It looks like, I don't know who's in the lead. Tootsies bounces big. Benz is in the lead, but now he's beginning to wobble, and it's going to be Mountain to claim the win. Tootsies bounced big, wobbled big, and then Benz in his lane wobbled a lot as well. I think without that wobble, Benz would have been able to win this race. But instead, it's the rookie of Mountain. Calm, cool, collected. Grabs the victory and advances to round 2. Pickup. Rookie, Artie. Splitter and DeWalt race next. It's an even start. It looks like Splitter beginning to edge ahead. Wobbles as Artie flips onto his roof. Maybe bounces off Splitter. Splitter will have a clear and easy victory. Pickup will finish 3rd. And Artie will finish the race. I believe we have had only one other competitor flip over and still finish the race. And I believe that competitor was Artie. I think this is the 2nd time he's done this, which is extremely impressive. Unfortunately, it is a last place finish, but to still be able to finish is incredible. There's no penalty for DNF, it's just a last place. Splitter, who won on the sister track to this one back in 2020, will win his way to round 2. Loves, Moto, York, and 222 race next. York in lane number 3 is the 4th New Yorker to race in this competition. That means we're just halfway through them. It's an even start. It looks like 222 and York edging ahead. Moto on the side of the track. York bounced big. 222's ahead of York. He can't close. And so 222 will finish the race. Moto will grind to a halt mere inches before his finish piece. And so he will get a DNF. A rough finish there for Moto. Also a rough finish for York. He finishes second in this one, which is a good finish, but it could have been first. He wobbled coming through that transition. If he hadn't wobbled, he might not have been able to get the victory, but I think he would have been a lot closer, had a much better chance. 222, the second place competitor from January, advances to round 2. Department, Exalta, Proto, and Moneyline race next. Department in lane number 1 is the 5th New Yorker to race in this competition. And it's an even start. It looks like Department beginning to edge ahead. He wobbles as Exalta's on the side of the track. It's close at the line, 3 wide. It looked like Proto grabbed the victory, just barely ahead of Moneyline. And she will. Department with a chance to win falls to 3rd. Moneyline very close to the finish line, comes home in 2nd. But it's Proto just barely getting the win. At first I thought it was Moneyline. I had to look a little closer at the finish piece to realize that it was Proto. A rough finish though for Department, but great for Sprinter, as so far, we're 1 for 5, advancing to round 2 Sprinter. So far, the only New Yorker to do it. Shooter, Drafter, Rookie, Shifter, and Chomps race next. It's an even start. Chomps and Shooter beginning to pull way ahead. Shifter in the air, wobbling on the side of the track as the Dyno cars are still in the lead. Chomps will grab the victory. It looked like ahead of Shifter. Yes, ahead of Shifter. Shooter falling behind a little bit there as they got to the finish line. Was leading with Chomps coming through the transition and a little bit off the transition as well. Just did not carry the speed that Shifter did. And Shifter possibly even carried a little too much speed as he nearly wrecked and got off the side of the track. A very impressive save there for the rookie to finish 2nd as Chomps advances to the next round. Rookie, Stingray, Orange Liner, Bolt, and Pace race next. And it's an even start. Bolt now beginning to pull ahead, but he wobbles. Orange Liner way in the air. Stingray just pulls away from the pack. Bolt will fall to 3rd place. Pace will come home in 2nd. It was a great start by Bolt. It's just there's nothing that can beat Stingray. Just that drive that she has coming through that transition is unlike no other. If only she could put it together and grab a competition victory. Ford, Spider, Rookie, Strip, and Baseline race next. It's an even start. It looks like Baseline beginning to pull ahead, wobbling the Rookie way in the air. It's Baseline still in the lead. It is tight with Strip, but Baseline will hold him off. Baseline started in the lead, wobbled none. Coming through that transition, he was fully clean. The rest of his competitors bounced, especially Strip, who came home in 2nd, and that is probably what cost Strip the lead, cost him just a little too much momentum to be able to catch Baseline, who wins his way to round 2. Interstate, Comscope, Symbol, and Missile race next. It's an even start. Symbol now beginning to edge ahead, but he bounces big on the side of the track. That slows him down way too much, and they're 4 wide crossing the line. Comscope will get the victory. Symbol will fall to last. Missile will come home in 3rd as the NASCAR's 1-2 with Interstate in 2nd. Comscope gets the victory. Voltage, Engine, Stinger, and Sunshine race next. And Stinger and Voltage begin in the lead. There goes Stinger way in the air. He's way off the track. Engines falling back as Voltage will cross the line. Sunshine will take second. Engine comes the closest to DNFing that you possibly can without finishing. Stinger is off the track. Did slide pretty far. Voltage claims the win. If Stinger can figure out this track and not wreck, he's winning competitions on this track. But unfortunately, the way he's designed, it's just not going to be possible. Voltage gets the victory. Sunshine comes home in second. 9. Patriot, DFD, and 35 race next. It's an even start. It looks like DFD beginning to pull ahead, but he bounces big up on two wheels, bounces between lanes. 9's in the lead, but Patriot will steal it before the line. DFD had the lead and then lost it, and then somehow drove to second place. But then 9 took over the lead, and then he lost it for Patriot to finally get the victory. That was one of those races where it felt like no one wanted to win. Everyone wobbling, making mistakes. Patriot, the cleanest out of them all. Hendrick, Rover, Copo, and Goldie race next. Rover and Copo will begin in the lead. Rover way in the air. Copo on top of Goldie as Hendrick pulls to the lead and will grab the victory. Copo will somehow save it to come home in second. Goldie in third. And Rover doing what he does often this season and has turtled just before the finish line. This has been a rough year for Rover. I'm not sure how the rest of his year is going to go. He might get pulled off the circuit for being too dangerous. I'm really not too sure what's going to happen with him. Unlike Stinger, Rover has not been able to show that he can actually finish on this track, which is really unfortunate because with the right speed, with the right track and combination, Rover can be really, really competitive. Unfortunately, this year is just not his. It's Hendrick moving on to the next round. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Diecast Competition Series. A quick announcement right here. The decision has been made on Rover. It was actually announced by he himself. He is taking a Stripes 2023 type of route. For those who don't know, Stripes in 2023 said that he was basically just going to accept that he was not going to be able to finish on the regular track, and so he was only going to compete in Race Derby and Race and Land, two tracks he felt like he had a chance to actually compete. And so that's what he did. He raced the races after those when he advanced, and that is what Rover is doing here. He is saying, just put me in last for every race that I am in, and I will be back on track actually racing in Race and Land. And that'll basically be the last competition he actually races. The rest of the races for him, he will automatically be put in last. He will not be run on the track. This is not something we want to announce, but unfortunately, it's just how Rover's year has gone. It's not his year. It hasn't gone well for him. He doesn't have a design that's safe and compatible for this track. It really sucks that this is happening. So Rover will not be competing until Race and Land, which is early July. So with that somber announcement now being made public, let's get back into the April competition racing for the first half of round number 1. Race 19 contains BP, Rick, Tab, and Confetti. It's an even start. It looks like Tab maybe in the lead a little bit. Rick wobbles big on the side of the track, now bouncing between walls, which will give Confetti the lead he needs to grab the win. Rick will come home in second, but without bouncing through the transition and then wobbling once he had it saved. He could have gotten the victory. He could have been the one advancing, but he wasn't able to save it in time. And so it's the NASCAR of Confetti advancing to round 2. Rookie Hamlin, Ally, 3, and Fangs race next. And it's a very even start. It looks like Fangs maybe in the lead a little bit. Ally way in the air as 3 drives away from the pack and is gone as they make it to the finish line. Ally, the one who made the biggest mistake, bounced way in the air, was able to save it, but comes home in last. But how about that run for 3? A very similar race to Blitz from Monday, just drove on through the transition and then checked out. I think she even had a bigger lead than what Blitz had. 3 hasn't shown that type of speed since like 2021 when she finished 3rd in points. That is an incredible drive for 3, who convincingly advances to round 2. Rookies Custom and Elliott against the NASCARs of Auto and Budweiser. And it's an even start. It looks like Elliott with a slight lead, clean through the transition as his competitors wobble. It's very tight between the rookies, but with Customs wobbling throughout the track, Elliott will grab the victory. Elliott had the lead coming through the transition, but right afterwards, even though he made no mistake, Custom was right there. But then he started to bounce back and forth, Custom did, and that lost him just enough momentum for Elliott to get the win. It's the rookies 1-2, the NASCARs 3-4. Elliott comes out on top of them all. Orange, Johnson, GM, and Carrera race next. It's an even start. It looks like Carrera in the lead. GM way in the air, bounces off each wall, but he's still even with Carrera, and I think he just claimed the victory. GM, with possibly one of the greatest saves I've ever seen, will claim the victory ahead of Carrera. Oh my goodness. He was way in the air. He then bounced off both walls multiple times. How did he save that? GM moves on to the next round, steals it from Carrera. Motosaurus, Basket, Harvick, and Birthday race next. And it's an even start. It looks like Motosaurus beginning to pull away. Harvick bounces on the side of the wall, maybe into Basket. He straightens out as Motosaurus crosses the line in first. Looks like Birthday might have come home in second. No, he comes home in third. It'll be Basket in second, able to escape Harvick's wrath, getting up on the side of the track. Motosaurus, a clean, calm race as mayhem kind of happened next to him with Harvick getting up on the side of the track. That might have actually what slowed down Basket just enough for Motosaurus to be able to pull away. Patrol, Rookie Hooters, 37 and Future race next. Lanes 1 and 3, that's Patrol and 37, are the 6th and 7th New Yorkers to race in this competition, which means for the second time this year and the second straight competition, we have 2 New Yorkers in the same race. It's an even start as 37 is beginning to fall behind. Now 37's on his route. Patrol's upside down. Looks like Hooters is on the side of the track. Future will finish the race. Patrol will slide in on his roof in second. Hooters in third. 37 on his side near the finish line in fourth. That was a whole bunch of chaos. We nearly had a triple DNF. Here is a bird's eye view of the competitors who have wrecked. You can see Patrol and Hooters at the finish line, and 37 a little further away. And here are the results. Future claims a relatively easy victory. Patrol will be the best out of the New Yorkers, coming in second. It could have been a win, though, as he was close to the lead, possibly even leading when he flipped. Just made that mistake. And then Hooters as well, getting up on the side of the track. So it wasn't just the New Yorkers making a mistake and Hooters was caught in it. Hooters also made a mistake. That was chaos. And Future's the one to navigate it best. Rookie, Polar, Taxi, Pennzoil, and Fishy race next. Taxi in lane number 2 is the 8th New Yorker to run in this competition. And if you ask me right now, I believe we will only have one New Yorker advancing to the next round. Coming into this competition, Polar was 5th in points. I don't know where Taxi is in points, but I know he's not 5th. I do not see Taxi being able to get the win. But this is the Diecast Competition Series. Crazier things have happened. And it's an even start. Pennzoil beginning to fall behind. Now bounces as Polar's in the lead. Taxi's trying to stay with him, but will be unable to as he crosses the line. As I suspected, Polar will get the victory. Taxi, pretty good in second place. Pennzoil, a good recovery from his wobble to come home in third. Fishy in fourth. But with Polar's win and Taxi's second place, we will, for the first time this season, only have one New Yorker advancing to round 2, and that is Sprinter. Gamera, Evolution, Rookie, Sylvia, and Kyle race next. And it's an even start. Kyle beginning to fall behind. Same with Evolution, who bounces in the air. Sylvia was on the side of the track. It's tight at the line. 4 wide crossing the line. But it looked like Gamera had the lead. And Gamera will have the lead. She will claim the win just barely. Really felt like Gamera was going to be able to take an easy victory after Sylvia got on the side of the track. Kyle had a slow start, and Evolution bounced way in the air. But this is the Diecast Competition Series, and before I knew it, there were 4 wide crossing the line. Gamera will come out the best of it. Rookie, the Bug, Pursuit, defending series champion Demon, and 13 race next. It's an even start. Demon and the Bug beginning to pull away. Demon in the air. Pursuit off the track. The Rookie and Champ pull ahead. And it looked like the Champ will get the win. Pursuit will grind to a halt before his finish piece, as it is the Champ. Demon, your defending series champion and March winner from earlier this year, will advance to the next round. I really felt like the Bug was going to be able to get there, maybe even hold him off, especially with Demon's mistake coming through the transition. Demon's a 2-time champion for a reason, and so he'll take the victory, advancing to the next round. Netspend, Rookies, Vintage, and Sunny, and Ladder race next. It's an even start. Ladder beginning to pull ahead. They're on the straight. Can Ladder hold it? He cannot as he falls behind. The NASCAR's pull ahead. Sunny will get the win. Ladder will cross his finish piece, though slowly and far behind in last place. Sunny will get the win. The Rookie will get it over the other 2 NASCARs. The other Rookie in this race, Vintage, will come home in third. Ladder, super, super fast. If only the track was just a little bit wider, because that's why he slows down. He's fast at the start, but as soon as they get to the flat, he loses momentum. If only the track was a little wider, or was always race derby, I think he'd be a champion. I think he will be a champion when we eventually use the Race Derby track for a full season. A rough finish here, finishing third. The rookie, the NASCAR rookie Sonny, advances to round 2. Emerald, Mahindra, Horseplay, and Rookie Nightmare race next. It's an even start as it looks like maybe Nightmare falling behind Mahindra bounces between both walls as he flips upside down. It's very close at the finish line. It looks like Emerald will claim the win. Mahindra will turtle in a spot where many competitors have been upside down, stalled out before. Not just in this competition, but this season. He will DNF. Emerald will claim the victory ahead of the rookie of Nightmare. Horseplay was there. He comes home in third, but just wasn't not close enough to catch the top 2. Emerald advances to the next round. The final 3 races of this round will contain 3 competitors only. First up, we have Base, Virtual, and Rookie Comic. Comic is not only a rookie, but he is also your points leader by, I believe, 61 points over Pursuit, who's already been eliminated. His next closest competitor, I believe, is Stingray. She is advancing. And then after that, it is Demon, who is in 4th, who is also advancing. So Comic not advancing here would be a huge blow to his points position. We'll have to see if he can hold on. And it's a slow start by Comic. He's being left behind. He wobbles. He's on the side of the track. Virtual trying to pull away. Comic will cross the line on the sidewall. But it won't be enough as he'll come home in second. Oh my goodness. Comic was wrecking the whole track. Trying to save it but not lose momentum. Just barely able to squeak into second. The fight for the win was still very tight though. He almost succeeded in his goal to win. Comic will lose a crap ton of points here in this competition as he's eliminated round 1. Next up, we have 3 NASCARs. We've got Brandt, Smithfield, and second place in Race Derby, Kohler. It's an even start. It looks like Brandt in the lead through the transition. Smithfield on 2 wheels now flips upside down as Kohler takes a commanding lead and takes the win ahead of Brandt. Smithfield will flip upside down in a usual place for competitors this season and finish last. Kohler finished second in the last competition and advances to round 2 in this one. The last race of round number 1 contains defending competition winner Diablo, rookie Hoverstorm, and returning competitor Abstract. Looking at the lineup, it does look a little strange. That is because Diablo and Abstract are too wide to fit in the middle lanes. It's an even start. It looks like Abstract being left behind. A bounce between the top 2. Diablo now pulls away from the rookie and claims the victory. A tight battle for second place. It looks like the rookie of Hoverstorm will get the win ahead of Abstract. Diablo won the last competition of Race Derby, and he is now winning here to advance to round 2. The top 2 of the last competition advances. That's interesting. They'll probably race each other in the next round. That'll be fun. Speaking of the next round, here is your full round 1 results. The racing today begins row 3, 4th car in from the left. That is the bright blue car of Dodge, next to the yellow, red, and black machine of Wallace. So that is, I believe, 33 competitors advancing. We have a total of 64 on to the next round. Of course, it would usually be 63, but the addition of Velvet with his round 1 pass makes it 64. And I think we have a chance now to actually be able to guess who's advancing. I still really like Blitz to be in the Final Four. I think that 3 showed very similar pace in her race, so I really, really like that pick. I think Stingray and Chomps are 2 very hard competitors to go against, and then Polar and Demon as well, 2 very fast competitors. I can't pick the last 5 competitors that I mentioned because statistically 2 will come from the first half and 2 will come from the last half for that final round. We're going to go Blitz, maybe T-Rex, Destroyer, Stingray, and Demon. There we go. Those are my picks right now. We'll be back later this week for round number 2, round number 3, and round number 4. We're back to the typical 4 rounds. If you don't want to miss it, subscribe to the channel. You won't miss this competition, the rest of this season, or any other type of uploads. Comment down below who your picks are to win this competition. And until next time, my name is Farkle8000, and we'll see you later.